celebration to kick off the Pittsburgh 2030 district. It's a celebration that everybody in this room is part of. So thank you so much for coming. I wanted to give just a little bit of background and tell a little bit of the story about how we got here, and then we'll hear from several of our elected officials, and then we will find out who's in the Pittsburgh 2030 district. There's a big number at the end. When we add it all up, it's kind of a surprise. I'm not sure Aurora even gave you the official number, so it's a big number when we're done. So, this is something new. We haven't done this before. There's a great quote from Amory Lovins, right? Amory started, and some of you may have read some of his writing, but he started the Rocky Mountain Institute. The Stone Age didn't end because we ran out of stones. It came to an end because we found a better way. This, what we're starting to do here, is that better way. So, just by way of introduction, the Green Building Alliance, we've been around for 19 years. We're a nonprofit, we're based on the South Side, and our vision for the world is that the places where we live, work, and play will be healthy and high performing. And that is the essence of what we're trying to do, what we've done for the last 19 years. So, the way this story goes, Ed Mazria, he's an architect in New Mexico. Back in 2002, he wakes up one morning and he starts thinking about climate change. And he starts thinking that climate change is actually an issue. And he's worried about the future of the world. So he does some research, and these are slightly updated numbers from what Ed would have seen back then. But he realizes that building operations consume 43.5% of all the energy in the United States. And local transportation, just getting to and from work and little bits and pieces around everyday life, consume another 16.5%. 60% of our energy in the United States is consumed just through daily building and transportation. And Ed thinks, well, and besides that, then 71% is electricity. 71% of all the electricity is consumed in our buildings in the United States. So Ed's thinking there's got to be a better way. There's some things that we can do to make this better. And the building community, the architecture community can help to address some of this. So Ed Mazria invents the 2030 Challenge. And in its simplest terms, the 2030 Challenge says all existing buildings should try to reduce their energy, their water, and their transportation miles by 50%, which is a huge goal. 50%, cutting everything in half by the year 2030. So it is both inspirational and aspirational as a goal. And then within the new building and major renovations, that by the year 2030 at least, that all new buildings should strive to be carbon neutral. Big goal. There's a couple different ways we're going to get there, right? It's going to be good design. And it's going to be the use of good technologies. Some technologies we might not even have in place yet. And then it's going to be some component of renewable energy. And that's what's going to get us to a good place. So there was a point then, 2 years ago, where I met a fellow named Vincent Martinez at a restaurant in Austin, Texas. And Vincent is telling me how he's working on a project in Seattle to get all of downtown Seattle to commit to the 2030 Challenge. And my first reaction was, that's impossible. How can you, and I had actually just moved from Seattle, right? It's like, that can't be done. But then we started talking, and maybe there was one whiskey involved. And next thing you know, it seemed like more and more possible to do. And the next morning it seemed like a really good idea still. And so we brought it to the Green Building Alliance, and we have been so fortunate to gather all of you here as people participating in creating the Pittsburgh 2030 district. So what we've done as part of this, we've mapped the central business district of Pittsburgh, stretched to include the North Shore and up to include the Council Energy Center and the 28 acres that the Penguins have under development. We're calling this the Pittsburgh 2030 district. Our goal by the year 2030 would be to have all 450 buildings in this district commit to the 2030 challenge. We just haven't had time to reach everybody yet. If you're one of the people we haven't reached yet, we're still hopeful to talk with you. But we've we've made dramatic impact, and you're going to find out who we've spoken to and who's committed in writing to making it as part of the 2030 district. So yes, we have a lot of work to do. Really, this is the celebration. The work starts right after this. There's technologies, there's design, there's a whole lot of financing, how we pay for all this that needs to be figured out. Green Building Alliance is going to bring a lot of this to the conversation. You all are going to bring a lot of this to the conversation. We're going to share all of our ideas and do our best to get to these goals. Ultimately, huge opportunity. So why do we actually care? Through all of this collaboration, we get best practices. We start to be able to share the ideas. One of the really cool things we're going to talk about in a second are we're going to have to establish some baselines. We're going to understand how much water we use and how much transportation we use and what our indoor air quality is like. And those numbers will be good for the project, but they're going to be good for everybody as we make decisions about creating the future of Pittsburgh. So this is going to be, we're going to put some things into the world that haven't existed before. We're going to leverage all of this partnership so that we can take advantage of technology and services and the financing in efficient ways to help things get done. And ultimately, the buildings, the cities, the regions that are going to be competitive in the year 2030 are making these kinds of decisions today. So this is where we're headed. As a region, we're addressing some of these issues as a region, as a district, so we can start to collaborate. We can make this some larger decisions rather than just a particular building or plot. Eventually, we want to take these best practices, we want to take everything we learned, and we want to spread this both to other parts of Western Pennsylvania, which the Green Building Alliance serves. We want to get this to Johnstown, we want to get it to Erie, to Uniontown, to places like that, and then to the rest of the world and beyond, so that the world recognizes Pittsburgh as a leader in green building and sustainability, in a place that's making good decisions and showing other people how to make good decisions, making the world a better place. So a couple people I need to thank. I want to thank the Cultural Trust for allowing us the use of this facility. It's just perfect for this celebration. I want to thank our particular 2030 district sponsors who will be sponsoring some of our ongoing meetings and working sessions. E2 Solutions, RCX, and St. Moritz Building Services. They're all here in the room, so if you get a chance, thank them also for their support. We're going to hear from Mayor Ravenstahl, County Executive Fitzgerald, and Councilman Lavelle in just a second. But I also need to thank Ed Mazria for thinking up the idea in the first place. I want to thank Vincent Martinez for convincing me that this was a good idea. Brian Geller, who runs the Seattle 2030 District, for sharing an awful lot of information. And I want to thank the GBA Green Building Alliance Board for their support in helping us refine this idea. I want to thank all of the GBA team because they've done yeoman's work, really heroic effort over the last couple of weeks to pull all this together. And I particularly want to give a shout out to Aurora Sherrard and Kelly Henderson because they've been burning some midnight oil to make all this happen back in the office. So thank you everybody for getting this to be real. And with that, I want to start some of the even better formal stuff by introducing County Executive Rich Fitzgerald. Rich, in both his business and in the leadership work that he's done at the county already, has shown some real commitment to these kinds of initiatives, and we're very appreciative that the county has committed to be part of the district and that the county executive is playing a leadership role in all of this. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And it is great to be here, and it's always interesting when you see those numbers put on the board or on a slide telling us how much energy we really consume. You know, and we are a community that really does believe in green. I know that the mayor and I work on these things all together. We're very proud of, you know, with the convention center, as Don Mary's here from the SEA, and the LEED certification that they have is one of the leading convention center in the world, with both design and building and on maintenance and operation. We're very proud of that. Obviously, the benefits came to when we were able to get the G20 to come here a few years ago and kind of show ourselves off as to the world. So we're delighted. The county is very much delighted to be part of this collaboration, not only as a property owner, but also in encouraging others through development and other areas that they work on to do that. Obviously, you know, we're talking about the convention center, but also we have right down the street on Wood Street is what PNC is doing as a great corporate citizen in building the largest LEED certified skyscraper in the world right here. We can be very proud of all the things we're doing. And how we renovate buildings and how we reuse buildings is terrific. But we know there's more work to be done. We know there's some improvements to be done. How we've got to, continue to work. And I know the mayor and I are committed, from the city and county to doing that. And I'll just lay out from the county standpoint a couple of things that we're obviously going to do. And on behalf of the county and the 1.3 million residents, we're committing the county courthouse, which was built back in 1888. And its 6 floors are going to be part of this. Our county office building, which was built in 1931, and the 7 floors that exist there. Our family courthouse, the old jail, which was built in 1900, with its six floors. And then the county jail, which was built, much more recently, back in '96, and the 16 floors that it has. And then with our partners with the city county building, which was built in 1916, and the 10 floors that they have there. So we're committed to working on those, improving what we do there. It's also a very proud day for me to be able to come here and talk about a day in which we really saved transit for this region. Making that big announcement today that the local ATU, working with the Port Authority to come and put a stabilized system in place. That, we talked about the 16% is consumed by vehicular traffic, by having a good, sustainable transit system that feeds our central downtown business district and Oakland and all the other employment centers that we have in this region. We continue to make sure we're going to do green and we're going to be, moving forward with that. Because I'll tell you, when young people look to where they locate, they're a lot different than when I was looking years ago, and all I wanted to do when I got out of school was buy a car. These young people don't really, that's not what they're interested in. They're interested in living in a place where they can bike to work, where they can walk to work, where they can have transit to work, and that they can live in an environmentally sound apartment building and work in an environmentally sound place to be. So that's going to continue to help us attract more young talent to this region, which is going to continue to help us grow. I'm delighted to be here. Mike, thank you for the invitation. I look forward to working with all of you on this project. Thank you very much.
Next, let me introduce the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh, Luke Ravenstall. The city has already taken great steps. That was a press announcement a couple months ago. Department of Energy put $3.5 million into redoing the city building. Just one part of a lot of the effort that's happening at the city. We appreciate the leadership of the city as well. Mayor Ravenstall.
Thank you, Mike, and good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here with so many familiar faces, and it's great to be here representing the city of Pittsburgh and signing on to commit to doing what we can to make this project a reality. As many of you can imagine, when you go through the bureaucratic government process and you consider whether or not Pittsburgh is going to say, yes, we're on board with something like this, there are numerous bureaucrats around the table saying, well, what is it that we're committing to? And what is it exactly that we have to do by 2030? And how much is it going to cost us? And are you sure you want to do this? And first I looked around the table and I said, if any of us are still here in 2030, we all need our head examined, number one. But on a serious note, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse to do it. This is an awesome challenge. This is something that I think our region has to embrace. And what I said to them was, here we are in 2012, and imagine 20 years ago, without groups like this around the table talking about this, would you have ever imagined that Pittsburgh did many of the things that Rich mentioned? Build a green convention center, build a green Consol Energy Center, has the world's largest green skyscraper. The list goes on. Phipps has a living building. And if any of us in 1992, 20 years ago, would have sat around the table and said Pittsburgh would have achieved this, and Pittsburgh would have transformed its image from a city that was dirty, that was smoky, that wasn't environmentally friendly, to a city today that is nationally and internationally recognized as a city that is green, that is clean, and has embraced environmental and sustainable practices. You would have thought that we were crazy. So here we are today, 18 years out from 2030, again, challenging ourselves. But I think what's different about today than it was maybe 20 years ago is the partnership and the commitment of so many people in this room, and that's what's important. And there are so many people here. I think the agenda is going to call for each and every one of them to stand up and say what they're going to commit to do, and I think that's great. So 3 of the 450 buildings in that golden triangle that Mike mentioned, we're committing to doing. The city-county building, which Rich mentioned, we had Secretary Chu in town that offered a $3.4 million grant. That work has already begun. We expect that once completed, it'll save us about $475,000 a year in reduced energy costs. And oh yeah, by the way, it created 40 local jobs in the process. Second, we have an EMS facility which is located on the Boulevard of the Allies. That is a building that we're committing to the project. And then third and finally, the municipal courts building we're committing to doing also by 2030. Yes, it's going to cost money. Yes, we're going to have to find it. But we're committed to doing that. And as I mentioned, and as I said in the meeting, and as we repeat time and time again, these savings are why we do it. The environment is why we do it. Being a green city is why we do it. And the upfront cost pays itself back tenfold over the long term. And we're excited to be here. So before I sit down, I just want to thank those folks on my team that make this stuff happen. Afton, Jill Giles, is she here? Is Afton here? She's not here, but Jim Sloss is here. I see him in the back. The Energy and Utilities Manager for the City of Pittsburgh. They do the hard work and the heavy lifting. I get up here and sound like I'm smart and know what I'm talking about, and that's thanks to the work that they do. So thanks everybody, and thanks for your commitment.
And next let me introduce Councilman Daniel Lavelle. Councilman Lavelle's district includes Downtown Pittsburgh, and we're thrilled to have his support for all of this project as well. Councilman.
Good afternoon. I originally became aware of Pittsburgh 2030 when the Green Building Alliance came to meet with me this past May. As a councilperson in District 6, which, as you mentioned, includes all of the buildings we were talking about, I was really excited, and the proposal was really one that I could immediately get on board with. The citywide challenge to reduce energy, water, and transportation emissions by 50% by the year 2030 will place Pittsburgh at the forefront of national efforts to build sustainable communities. It is yet another example of our great city's ability to reinvent itself in these challenging times, respond to a modern need, in this case, the increasing scarcity of energy resources, with a progressive vision that will guide us well into the 21st century. In signing on to the 2030 District Challenge, Pittsburgh becomes one of 3 cities in the country committed to reducing emissions by 50%. The 2030 District cements our city as a national leader with a green vision, an effort that will serve to improve the quality of life for our citizens. Buildings are a major source of the global demand for the energy and materials that produce greenhouse gases. By slowing and eventually reversing the trend of rising greenhouse gas emissions, Pittsburgh will signal the way of the future, a path towards sustainable infrastructure that adequately responds to the realities of climate change and increasing scarcity of energy resources. I am truly excited by the challenge and I'm honored to participate in the announcement of the 2030 Challenge. Thank you.
So now we find out who's in. And yes, we're all in. But specifically, who's brought their properties to the program? It's into the 2030 district. We're going to ask each of the property owners or representative of the property owners to come up to the microphone and talk about your properties and even a little piece of interesting trivia along the way. Once you've made your announcement, you're welcome to stay here. Once we're all standing in front, we get a good group shot from the photograph at the end. That'll keep everyone quick as well. The longer you talk, the longer your comrades have to stand. So we're going to start with the smallest piece of property and work towards the largest, the most amount of square footage that's being committed to the district by a very interesting and wonderful quirk of fate. I get to introduce my dad, Frank Schiller, to start this off.
Frank Schiller, am the manager of the Forward Group. We've owned a piece of property at the corner of Fort and Wood for 38 years. And our commitment so far, we started in 2010 already. We put what we call a white door-lock roof on, which reflects the heat. And so far, we have seen great difference in the cost of the air conditioning in that building. Thank you.
Representing Iron City Ventures and Mike Clements, who couldn't be here himself today. Mike is committing both the Penn Avenue Fish Company at 308 Forbes, which is Penn Avenue Fish on the lower floor and upper floor lofts, as well as 604 Liberty, which is a yet-to-be-developed building built in 1885, a former cigar wrapping facility to be transformed into a townhouse with a ground floor cafe. This totals 8,700 square feet.
I'm Mike Krasinski, Chief of Staff at Verso for a cybersecurity company. We're at 606 Liberty Avenue. I think we're one of the newest members to the neighborhood, so welcome to the neighborhood. We're in the middle of a renovation project. Our 7 floors, we're renovating 3 of them. We were already a step ahead of the game when we talked to Mike and his team about this project. But once we're done with our renovations, we'll be blending the classic technology, the modern technology of today with the classic architecture on the outside of the building.
Hi, my name is Eve Picker. I'm representing Noel Productions and we do property management. So 15 years ago when I built the first loft building downtown, no one wanted to invest in downtown Pittsburgh. And I really love that all eyes and all energy is focused on downtown. This effort is just going to push downtown Pittsburgh to be, I think, the best downtown in the United States.
On behalf of Alco Parking, they will be stepping forward with the D.L. Clark Building, the Theater Square Garage, the Manor Garage, the 6th and 10 Garage, and the Convention Center Garage, for a total of over 1 million square feet and close to 3,000 parking spaces. And as I like to say, the easiest way to avoid a parking ticket is to go to the parking lot.
Good afternoon, I'm Bill Gaddy, President of Trek Development Group, and we hereby commit 2 residential properties totaling 115,000 square feet to the 2030 district goals. Our properties are 900 Penn Avenue and the Century Building. The Century Building was the first, both properties are on the National Historic Registry. Century Building was the first residential property in downtown Pittsburgh to achieve LEED Gold accreditation. We're very proud of that. And we're also one of the only properties downtown and the only residential property that we know of that is using an open loop geothermal heat pump loop system to heat and cool our properties. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Lori Greta and I'm here representing CBRE. And CBRE has committed 11 Stanwicks to the challenge. We're very excited to be a part of this. The building is currently LEED registered and hopes to achieving the LEED designation in the near future. We look forward to working with our participants to making this a big success. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kevin McKnight with Alcoa, the largest integrated aluminum company in the world. committed to making sustainable products. Alcoa is very proud of our Pittsburgh heritage. We like to say that we are advancing each generation. That's true from the time our company was founded in 1888 at the Smallman Street, to the way that we really initiated the rebirth of the North Side, the North Shore in 1998, when we built our wave-like aluminum and glass facade building that sits between the 7th and 9th Street bridges. Around the world, we are very proud of aluminum building products and the role that they are playing in help making the world more sustainable. In fact, our architectural products can help drive energy efficiency of up to 20%, and approximately 95% of all aluminum that is used in buildings is recycled. Our building here in Pittsburgh received a LEED Silver certification in 2011, and Alcoa is very excited to commit the Alcoa Corporate Center to the Pittsburgh 2030 District Challenge. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Kevin McMahon, President of the Cultural Trust. Welcome to the Vanderbilt Center Rehearsal Room. A number of you, this is your first visit to the rehearsal room. We are in a high performance space. At any rate, right behind that curtain is the Vanderbilt Center stage, and we have another rehearsal room above this. This is a new facility connected to an old historic facility. The Cultural Trust has, under its ownership, more than 1 million square feet. We're committing over 800,000 of those square feet by 2030 to bring up all of the wonderful things that all of our citizenry enjoy. There are more than 2 million people a year that come into the cultural district. We want to make sure that that's as enjoyable an experience as possible. One step we're taking immediately is that we're in the process of converting our air conditioning and heating usage. And when we have completed that, which we hope to do this year, we will save more than 50% of our energy heating and cooling usage just with that one accomplishment. Now, as several of our guests have already pointed out, that's an expensive proposition. It's not going to save us a lot of money initially, but certainly it is the right thing to do. And just to give you one little soundbite, the average daily electrical consumption for just the Benedict and the Bayou is the same amount of energy that a household of 4 uses for an entire year. So there's a lot at stake here when we make this a better place. So thank you all very much for being in our home, and come back and enjoy the Cultural District. The Jersey boys have to come in here very shortly.
Hello, I'm Mary Ann Papali, and I'm Community Affairs Director at Highmark. And Highmark commits Fifth Avenue Place to this endeavor. Fifth Avenue Place was built in 1988. It's 31 stories tall. And a couple of factoids about Fifth Avenue Place. Of course, Highmark is very committed to the good health of our 5,000 downtown employees. And so we've opened up the stairwells to our employees so that they can take the steps to the 31st floor if they're so inclined. And also, Highmark built a green roof on Fifth Avenue Place. It was one of the first green roofs in downtown Pittsburgh, and is still to this day one of the largest. So we're very pleased to be part of this endeavor.
This is a very important initiative that they need to get on board with, and they were very receptive. So we represent these buildings here committed to 2030 project, 2030 project, and being in the sustainability platform for my company and having sustainability in my heart, I can tell you 2030 is not going to be that hard to do. And as we gain more clients and representatives, we'll also encourage them to grow the district and be part of it. So that's going to happen. We're very excited about doing that. I wear another hat today. I'm also president of Building Owners and Managers Association, BOMA, and not as a founding partner, but as a resource partner. We've committed to help the 2030 district with our resources, our best practices, our educational opportunities, all for our members, which make up a lot of the buildings you've seen, and 75% of the central business district. to become members of the 2030 project. So we're all in. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Podobnik, and I'm the Senior Director of Security and Contract Services for the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're proud to commit PNC Park to the 2030 district and continue our Let's Go Bucks, Let's Go Green greening initiatives. Since implementing our program throughout PNC Park in 2008, we have increased our diversion rate from 36% up to 68% today, while maintaining what we can all agree is the most beautiful ballpark in America. The most beautiful ballpark in America where your Pittsburgh Pirates play. The Pittsburgh Pirates, who are currently in a division race. So come on out and get your playoffs. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Fox, and I'm here representing Oxford Development Company. We are an owner and a large service provider of real estate, both in property management and project management. And we're committing to work on all these great projects over the next couple of years. So thank you. No, in all honesty, we're committing 3 buildings today. One Oxford Center, which is our flagship, a total of a little over 1.8 million square feet. One Oxford Center was built during Renaissance 2, and we're currently doing an energy assessment right now. Looking forward to being part of this next Renaissance. 441 Smithfield Street and 411 7th Avenue. So thank you, and look forward to being part of the district. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mary Contoro, Executive Director of the Sports and Exhibition Authority. The SEA is committing the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, the North Shore Garage, and the West General Robinson Street Garage to the Pittsburgh 2030 district. We are proud that our convention center is the first convention center in the world to receive 2 LEED certifications, 2 LEED ratings, LEED Gold for construction and LEED Platinum for operations. Also, one of our buildings, Consol Energy Center, is also committing to the 2030 district. It is the home of the Pittsburgh Penguins. It has received a LEED Gold rating in 2009 for construction, and it's the first NHL facility to achieve that designation. Also committing to the district is the Civic Arena site redevelopment area. It is 28 acres, and when it is redeveloped, fully redeveloped, it will contain 3.2 million square feet of buildings. Thanks.
Good afternoon, I'm Rick Veith with Jones Lang LaSalle. Jones Lang LaSalle and BNY Mellon are committed to sustainable business practices. And we congratulate Pittsburgh 2030 District for bringing major employers, property owners, and managers in the city of Pittsburgh together to keep the city at the forefront of green and sustainable practices. We're committing 3 properties, BNY Mellon Center, 1.5 million square feet. It is currently Energy Star labeled. 525 William Penn Place, 40 stories, 1 million square feet, Energy Star labeled and LEED E-Bomb certified. And then also the Operations Center, 650,000 square feet, BNY Mellon Client Service Center. We're excited to be on the ground level of this project. We look forward to working with GBA and downtown property owners and managers to share information, experiences, and share ideas to more effectively operate our properties and achieve the 2030 district reduction goals.
I'm Gary Salson. I'm the Director of Real Estate for PNC, and Kevin, Mike assured me this was not a dress rehearsal. We are committing a number of buildings, but I really wanted to talk a little bit about when we started on this journey, which was 1998 when Firstside Center was under construction, and we decided to make Firstside into a green building. And at that time, people's vision of a green building was one that had dirt floors and straw walls and probably people walking around in Birkenstocks. Not really sure what to make of it. When we opened Firstside Center in November of 2000, it was the largest LEED certified building in the world. It was the first building certified under LEED 2.0. We then worked with the folks at the Convention Center and the Children's Hospital and a number of other projects in order to talk about green building. It's something that's very near and dear to our hearts, and it's something that is definitely in our culture. Most recently, we announced the building of the tower at PNC Plaza, which is going to be the largest world's greenest skyrise. In addition to the Lantern Building, which opened a couple weeks ago, and the old Liberty Travel Building on the corner of Market and Liberty, as well as 500 Smithfield, which was formerly known as the Lord and Taylor Building, in which we're going to do both a green and historic renovation of the building. So I want to thank you all for participating and for working with us and others in the room in order to make this dream come true. Thank you.
So a crack team from GBA is going to add up all the real estate and save that number for just a minute from now. We want to make the point that we can't, and even all the property owners, we're not going to be able to do it ourselves either. We have lots of ideas, we're going to share a lot, but we have a lot of other partners within the community and within the service sector here. I want to introduce Margaret Lanier. She's the treasurer of the city of Pittsburgh. She's also a board member of the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority. The PWSA is going to be a key partner in helping us establish our water baselines for the district. And Margaret is going to tell us about the rest of the resource partners that are part of this project.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is such an honor to join Green Building Alliance. I am honored to join you on this special occasion, and I am proud to say that in support PWSA's core mission of protecting and preserving our water resources, will be leading the review of the history of water consumption through the Pittsburgh 2030 district and creating a baseline measurement. We will work with Green Building Alliance and many of these community partners to identify ways we can conserve our most precious of natural resource. PWSA is a valuable, active member of the community, and we've always looking for new, innovative ways to forge these types of exciting partnerships. We look forward to working with all the community partners, as well as other conservation partners. Resource partners, all facilities, energy group, Architect 2030, Pittsburgh Water Sewer Authority, Rensa Labs, LLC, and the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. Thank you.
And lastly, let me introduce Tom Harrington. Tom is the chairman of the board at the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. The PDP has been a huge support in gathering this whole process together. Tom is going to talk to us about and introduce the rest of the community partners that are all part of this process.
Tom, thank you, Mike. It's almost over, people. We're almost there, Kevin. I'm honored. My name is Tom Harrington, and I am honored to be representing the founding community partners. I am chair of the PDP, the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, who really believes in this cause of Pittsburgh 2030. Community partners is a fairly lengthy list, so I'll get through it quickly. But we're here and we pledge to provide assistance to the property partners in accomplishing their goals with our organizational experience and expertise. That list, as you can see, is long, and we had some representatives here already from Allegheny County. I want to thank them, the American Institute of Architects, Bike Pittsburgh, the Building Owners Managers Association, Citizens for Pennsylvania's Future, the City of Pittsburgh Office of the Mayor, Design Center, the Green Building Alliance, Groups Against Smog and Pollution, the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 95, the Master Builders Association of Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Climate Initiative, Pittsburgh Downtown Community Development Corporation, Pittsburgh Downtown Neighborhood Association, the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, Student Conservation Association, Sustainable Pittsburgh, and Visit Pittsburgh. Quite a list. Thank you.
So I think this is then the moment where we tally everything up. And Leslie, we're good? We've got the numbers? I should invite the county executive, the mayor. It's kind of like the Academy Awards. You want to open the envelope? You're welcome to come up. Let's open the envelope. It's kind of like, how much do we got?
I'll be the best. I'll be the best actor. Luke will be the best director. We'll get that one.
Exactly.
Mayor, you want?
And the grand totals are?
We'll go half it out. 61 properties.
23,350,000 square feet.
And over 38% of the Pittsburgh Central Business District.
So this is tremendous. Thank you for coming to our celebration. Now the work really starts, right? So just by way of closure, September 10th, Ed Mazria, the progenitor of the 2030 Challenge, will be in town. He'll be spending 2 days in Pittsburgh, but he'll have a public event on September 10th at Carnegie Mellon University. You're all welcome to come hear Ed speak. And then the actual work starts with our first working session of the Pittsburgh 2030 Partners on the morning of September 11th. We will convene at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, and we'll get to work. So if you're a partner, we'll see you there. If you're not yet a partner, come talk to us. We want to have you as part of the process as well. Thank you so much for coming, and this is a really great day for Pittsburgh, so thank you very much.